Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Troy. I like to read, and welcome to another new Comic Book Day vlog on the Feet Lovers Pizza channel. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited today because we have some absolute bangers on the pull list. I'm talking Invincible Spider-Man team up, the final issue of DCKO, and a reprint of the DC All-In Special, which is something I've been hunting down for like a year and a half. So I'm real excited to get the books. Before we get into all that, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Song of the Week. Now usually I have a hard time picking the song, but this week it was a no-brainer. So, boom, the Manifesto from the new Gorillaz album, The Mountain. I've been a fan of Gorillaz since I was in like middle school, and I didn't love their last album, Cracker Island. I was hoping this would get me back into them. It did. This album is awesome. If you guys are interested in Gorillaz, check out this album. And without further ado, let's talk about the books from last week. Hello guys, I'm sitting down now, which means it's time to talk about the comic books from last week. I only had 3 pulls, and I enjoyed pretty much all of them. So I'm going to go over them in the order of what I liked the most, but I'm saving the best for last. Spoilers, we just know. But let's start off with probably the biggest book that came out last week, Absolute Wonder Woman, number 17. This is a continuation of the fight that was set up in the last issue with the quote-unquote Absolute Suicide Squad. I believe it's Zatanna, Giganta, Cheetah, the gas lady that showed up earlier in the series, and the fish woman that her people were also showing earlier in the series. Overall, it was a solid issue, right? We see more of Diana and Zatanna interacting. Zatanna still being very flirty, which is very cool. I hope that leads to something down the line, but who knows? I could be losing chest to this dog right now. But anyways, Zatanna like dips in the beginning part of the story. So we're basically the whole issue is basically just the fight between Diana and Giganta. I believe her name is. And I guess Giganta is like a Wonder Woman villain. I don't know much about Wonder Woman, I'll be honest, but she seems cool. And basically, as the fight goes on, Giganta progressively becomes bigger, and that becomes a problem for Diana. Then she uses she uses some magic to like match her size. She like takes a strand of her DNA, matches her size, and then it all builds up to at the end of the issue, it just turns into like a kaiju battle between Diana and Giganta, and it's really cool. And one thing I noticed in this issue, not even in this issue, just it like came to me as I was reading it. I really enjoy the art from Hayden Sherman. This book is the first like full book I've ever read from him, but I think his line work and especially his paneling is very cool. And especially when he's like matched with a good colorist, like the one on this book, who is who's it called? Jordi Belair. They're really good, like working in tandem. Like I think it was specifically I was reading this page where Diana transforms from her dress she was wearing last issue to her battle gear. I was like, this Hayden Sherman guy, he's got the juice, you know. On League of Comic Geeks, I'm making like a list of my top 10 interior artists, and I've been working on it for like the past few months, and I haven't been able to like really think of who I could put on it because I have like 5 that come to mind, but I need like the other 5 to make the 10. And I think I've added Hayden Sherman to the list. He's really good. And another thing I like about him, and this is not Absolute Wonder Woman problem. This is just like a comic book problem in general. Specifically with the variant covers of Absolute Wonder Woman, they tend to sexualize her like a lot, especially in a capacity that I don't even think, 1, is necessary, and 2, doesn't even like fit the character of Diana. Like there's some comic book characters that like let's say Catwoman or like Power Girl, where they play into like their sexuality. I wouldn't say flaunt what they have, but it's like it's a part of how they present themselves to the outside world. And you can make the argument that maybe because of that, when it comes to variant artists, you can play into that with a variant cover. But with Absolute Wonder Woman, she doesn't do that at all. She's literally just like a fighting warrior. Like she doesn't wear revealing clothing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but she doesn't wear like revealing clothes, and it leads me to wonder when I see all these like variants with her tits out, and I'm like, what's all this about, you know? And I don't know. That's another thing I like about Hayden Sherman, the fact he's able to like draw Diana in a way that's like not keeps her dignity, but it's like she has the choice. Like if it fits the story and she wants to be like where that dress she wore last issue, where it's a little bit more revealing, and that's her choice. It's not like it's being forced upon her by a variant artist, you know. but maybe it'll just happen. Hayden Sherman, good. That's that's the long and short of it. It's a pretty solid issue. It's mostly just fighting. It ends with like the reveal of this like fire person. I assume it's another witch that's gonna fight Diana next issue. It could also be like a very well-known Wonder Woman antagonist. I would not know. But the issue ends with them. I don't even know if it's a man or a lady. Melting Diana's like magic arm that she got from earlier in the series. So I wonder how that fight will go. I'm excited. Absolute Wonder Woman, very good. Check it out, please. Next up, we have the Infernal Hulk number 4. Number 4, I believe. This is a good issue in the sense that technically not a lot happens in the real world because most of it takes place in the Hulkscape, which is, for those who don't know, who didn't read Incredible Hulk by Philip Kennedy Johnson, it's kind of like the world inside of the Hulk, and that's the world that Bruce Banner goes to whenever the Hulk takes control of the body. But since the Eldest has taken over the Hulk's body, Hulk is now stuck in the Hulkscape himself. And off rip, one thing that I really like about this issue is that Nick Clean, Mr. Clean, is the artist on this book. And sometimes with these Hulk issues, he's just not. And I think, I'm not saying he's carrying the book, but his art is really good. And I like seeing it. Like in the interior list I mentioned earlier about all my favorite interior artists, Nick Clean is like top 5. I think he's really cool. And especially because he's able to like differentiate the real world from the Hulkscape. Specifically in the real world, his line art is like a lot more defined. Like everyone has like a black border around them, like, you know, their drawings. But when it comes to the Hulkscape, everything, there's no real line art, and everything just comes together beautifully. I don't know if he colors his own work, but the colors are also amazing on this book. But basically what happens is, as Hulk is exploring the Hulkscape, he's looking for Charlie, which was the future protagonist of the Incredible Hulk run, the last one. And she hasn't been mentioned at all throughout Infernal Hulk. So I've been like, well, why are we not mentioning her? Because she's like the second main character of the book. But now we're finally acknowledging her in the Hulkscape. So Hulk's been looking for her in his mind, basically. And as he's in there, he runs into like an Asgardian, I believe. Like there's been connections with some Asgardians throughout the last run. So I guess they're teasing some of that. And as he continues looking through the Hulkscape, he runs into other versions of himself. Like we get to see like this classic version of Hulk playing with his little building blocks, and they basically start fighting, the Hulk versus the Hulk, because OG Hulk is like, I'm the only Hulk, you can be Hulk, I'm Hulk, and they start beefing, and then Hulk gets our Hulk, the one we know, the long hair Hulk, gets knocked into this like poker playing Gray Hulk. I'll be honest, this is the first like Hulk thing I've ever read. It's pretty good so far, but I've known notoriously that Hulk comics have been very good, so I do want to dive into more of them. But he fights the Poker Hulk, and then it all culminates into like this arena when they're with like War World Hulk, when he's on Sakaar or whatever, and he's fighting, you know, like the Thor Ragnarok stuff. And they all culminate into this big battle. It's like a bunch of Hulks fighting these demons, and then Elda shows up, and she's like, yeah, you guys are Hulk. That's cool and all. You've been notoriously the Hulks throughout history, but I'm the Hulk now, and I'm the only Hulk, right? And then that's how the fight ends. And then Hulk basically ends up, our Hulk, long hair Hulk, ends up where he started back, basically in the beginning of this issue. And then it's teased that the Asgardian from earlier will try and get him some help, and then it's revealed at the end that in the next issue it will be the Infernal Hulk versus the one above all, which I'm pretty sure is like one of the gods in the Marvel universe. I don't know about all that cosmic shit, but overall, it was a good issue. It was more about the internal feelings of Hulk than anything like actually happening. It was really good, especially because Mr. Clean is on the book. Mr. Clean. But yeah, Infernal Hulk is really good. Apparently, they announced the Infernal War, which is like an event I guess is happening because of Eldest for 2027. Which is crazy because it's just March. It's like the 3rd of March today. And I have to think about this event coming in 2027. I don't know, I guess. Marvel loves doing fucking events. It's whatever. Infernal Hulk is good so far. Check it out if you want to. Next up, we have what is my most anticipated book of last week. And it delivered on all front. The new history of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident. And this basically goes over what has been happening with the Milestone characters ever since DC bought out Milestone and haven't been using them to like the full capacity. And I was excited for this because over the past month or so, I've been reading Icon, the original comic series from like the 90s. And it's really good. I really like Icon. I really like Icon like as a character, but I think my favorite character in the book was definitely Raquel, Rocket. She's like the heart and soul of that book. I specifically like how young she was, but having to deal with a lot of the situations she was put in, especially her pregnancy. And I feel like that's a topic, like teen pregnancy is a topic that isn't typically like addressed in American comic books, and I think they handled it really well. And her having that baby is such a big part of her character arc. And when I read Icon and Rocket, the DC book they made like in 2001, I believe 2021. I didn't like the new one. I thought it was inconsistent with the writing of the original Icon series, and I felt like they were changing so much things that they weren't gonna adapt her pregnancy plotline, and that pissed me off because I feel like that's like essential to her character. So I dropped Icon and Rocket, but I was still excited to read this. I haven't read any other Milestone books. I do want to read Static at some point, but I didn't get to it before this. As soon as I opened this, I was like, this is gonna be peak, because the quote-unquote main character of this issue is Raquel's son, Amasted, from the original Icon series. He was a baby, and now he's grown up a little bit, and he's a superhero. I think his name is Beacon. And basically he's from the future, right? He's from the future, and he goes back in time because it's like the world is going to shit. And he's like, we need the heroes of Dakota back. We need to bring them back. So he goes back and sees what's been happening and why there's no more heroes in the city of Dakota. And basically what happened was, at this time point in the DC universe, Lex Luthor was the president. I know, shocking, right? But basically, he was looking at Dakota as a city, which had Icon and Rocket, Hardware, Static, the Shadow Cabinet, which was a group of heroes, and the Blood Syndicate, which was a group of villains. So basically, in this one tiny city, there was like a bunch of superheroes. Usually, like each city in DC has like one or two heroes to protect it, but they had a bunch. And Lex Luthor was like, "There's too many heroes in this small group, in this small town, basically. And if they were ever to rise up, there'd be too many heroes per capita to fight against them. So we got to shut this shit down." So he and Amanda Waller send the Suicide Squad to go deal with them. Now, obviously, the heroes of Dakota are like, "No, this is our town. We're gonna we're gonna fight back." And they fight back. Blah 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 blah. The Justice League show up, and they're like, "This is kind of a tricky situation because this is like, we won't enforce our beliefs on you. This is your town. You're the heroes of this town. You can do what you do." And I thought that was a cool way for the Justice League to interact with it. Obviously, they maybe could have helped, but it's not really their place to in this situation, considering it's not their area. You know, it's not like a regular human town where there's no superheroes and they can like protect where they want to. There are all these heroes there, and that's under their jurisdiction. But basically, Lex Luthor is like, if you guys don't resign from being superheroes, he's saying this to the Milestone people. If you guys don't resign from being superheroes, we're either gonna take you to jail or we're gonna start hurting your family. Let me know where you live. And he specifically does that to Static. Because Static's like, I'm not taking this. Like this, I'm supposed to be like, Static was the first hero to come out of the Big Bang, the event that gave a lot of these people their powers. He was like the beacon, the spark that ignited the fire of Milestone. Basically, that's what they said. He's like, I'm the spark. I started all this. I shouldn't be crawling away from the fight. But then as he goes to confront Lex Luthor, Lex is like, "Oh, you live down the road, right? Like with your parents, right? Like in this address." He basically doxes him. He's like, "If you do anything to me, I will kill everyone you know and love." So Static's like, "Oh, I guess we're done. Or I'm done." In the way this book explains it, like all the Milestone superheroes had to stop because of Lex Luthor. And then it goes back to the present time. Amasted, the time traveler. And he visits Static, and he's like, "The future's going to shit. We need you back. The world needs Static." Static's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And Amasted's like, "You ignited this fire. This is all because of you. You are the greatest hero to come out of Dakota. We need you. Lock in." And then Static, he's like, he has this like ultimate Spider-Man moment where he's like, "Maybe I have been missing this thing from me. I'm supposed to be Static, but I can't be. But maybe it's time Static comes and fights back, you know?" And it ends with that. So hopefully that leads to like a Static ongoing. because we all know Discrimination Comics doesn't like black people for some reason. So hopefully that leads to a static book. But overall, this was really good. I enjoyed this, especially as someone who has an interest in the Milestone universe. This is really nice. If you pick up anything from this video, let it be this. Let it be this. Show DC that these Milestone characters deserve support, and they should get some new series, especially Static, because it was awesome. Those are the books I got last week. I had a lot of fun reading them. And now, it's time to go get the books from this week. I'll see you in the car. Hey guys, I'm in the car now. You guys have no way of knowing this, but I've had a pretty interesting past hour and a half. As I went outside and leave my house to go to the comic book store to buy comic books, one of my tires was flat on my car. So I just spent that entire time trying to replace it, I guess. I spent the first bit of the time like trying to refill it. I had this like machine that you can use to refill your tires with there, but it broke. My machine broke, so I'm running on the spare right now. I don't know. Let's talk about comic books so I can start feeling better. I have 5 pulls today. If I remember off the top of my head, DCKO number 5, Spider-Man Invincible Team Up, Absolute Superman, Batman, Matt Fraction, and the DCKO, or the DC All-In Special. Let's talk about DCKO, I guess. It's the final issue of the series. I'm excited, yet a bit scared, because they put a lot of like hype into the series, and I want it to feel like it has a nice ending, you know. It's only 5 issues, but then there's like 30 something tie-ins to build it, to beef it up. But last night I read the latest Superman issue, Superman by Joshua Williamson, which is also a DCKO tie-in, and it leads directly into this finale. So hopefully I enjoyed what I read over there. Hopefully I enjoy what I read over here. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where Superman goes, because apparently he goes missing after DCKO. So I'm excited to see what that's all about, you know. Moving on, let's stay on the topic of Superman. We got Absolute Superman 17 or 16, I believe. I don't recall off the top of my head. This is continuing off the last issue where Superman met Absolute Hawkman, and at the end of the issue they encountered Absolute Parasite. I'm excited for this. I'll be honest, I saw some pages in it that I'm not too hype about, that have to do with a certain villain who we're dealing with last arc, and I guess we're dealing with again. Absolute Superman is, I wouldn't say it's bad now, but it's definitely fallen off from how much I used to like it. But I still pull it because I still have hope, because I like Jason Aaron. I guess we'll see how it goes. Moving on to a book I like a lot, we have Batman number 7, I believe. This is the return of the Joker, who's been, I guess, MIA in Gotham for a while now. And we're going to see how Bats reacts to him. Apparently there's like a fold-out sequence in the book, which I have never seen a comic book with whatever that means, so I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited to see how Batman will react to Miss Annika Zeller, because as we saw in the last few issues, Bruce definitely has a different relationship with her than Batman does. I don't think she likes Batman all that much. But I guess we'll see how it goes, considering like a big theme of this book so far is like the redemption of like a lot of classic Batman villains, and I'm excited to see how they handle that with the Joker. Anyways, next one, Marvel Team Up is a reprint from an issue that came out years ago, like early in Invincible's run, where he teams up with Spider-Man. It's very popular. Yeah, I've never read it because they don't collect in any of the trades for Invincible for some reason. I think it's a copyright thing, but they were able to do a reprint, so I'm very excited to pick it up. There's a lot of cool covers for it, and hopefully if it's there, I plan to grab the Ryan Ottley variant, because obviously Ryan Ottley is known for being the artist on Invincible, but he did have a stretch of time on Amazing Spider-Man as well. So I'm excited to get that if it is there, and I'm excited to read about it. But one thing I heard is that they've they've changed some of like the dialogue from the original issue to make it like more modernized. Like apparently in the original issue they talked about like renting like movies from Blockbuster, and now it's like renting movies on Amazon Prime, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird because that's like, a good thing about reading like stuff from like different time periods is that you can experience what it was like to live in those time periods and what they talk about in those time periods. And modernizing a single issue like this is kind of weird, but I guess we'll see how it goes. I'm sure I'll like the whole, but that one part is a little weird for me. And finally, we had the DC All-In Special, the reprint with the cover drawn by Nick Dragotta. And I'm excited for this because I was getting into comic books around the time the Absolute Universe started. I getting into like floppies, like weekly comic books, and like a few weeks after I started getting it, and like this was like a few weeks into like the new Absolute books and some of the All-In initiative they were doing. I realized I haven't read the All-In special that is like the catalyst of all this. So I've been trying to hunt it down for months now, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere for a good price because obviously it's a first appearance of a lot of different people, so people are hunting it down. But thankfully, they have reprinted it, and I'm very excited to finally be able to own it and read it. I know I could have read it online this whole time, but I wanted to hold it in my hand just to say I have a copy of the All-In Special. And I don't really give a fuck that it's a reprint, you know. I'm not one of those people that are hunting like first prints and everything. As long as I own the thing, it's cool for me to have. But yeah, those are the comic books I'm buying this week. And I will see you guys at the shop when I'm grabbing them. Peace.
Hello everyone, welcome back once again. I'm at the Comic Collection in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. If you're ever in the area, come by and say hello to Dave. Now let's get into the comic books coming out this week. Starting off, we have a lot of reprints coming out of DC today. The first of notice being the All-In Special with a cover drawn by Nick Dragotta, the artist from Absolute Batman. After that, we have another reprint being Aquaman vs. Hawkman, the DCKO tie-in. And following that, we have the final issue of Jed MacKay's Avengers. I'm pretty sure they've already announced a new Avengers book, so hopefully it breaks the Marvel curse of only lasting 10 issues. Next up, we have Batgirl and her father Batman. They're both donning new banners at the top. I believe this is an initiative they're doing in Gotham, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm pretty sure Cass is back in Gotham, and maybe she'll show up in the Batbook eventually. You know, looking at all this footage, it kind of is crazy, like, how many Batbooks we get. Because we have Batgirl Batman, this Batman Green Arrow book, and Batman the Static Shock. Like, and that's only from this week. Like, I get he's DC's cash cow, but like, come on, Bruce, save some books for the rest of us. Moving on, we have some indie books, as well as Justice Society of America, which I've heard like mixed things about. Rolling in, we have another reprint of Harley Quinn vs. Zatanna. That was a really good one. Out of like the DCKO like 1v1 fights, that was probably one of my favorites. Now we have Absolute Flash, which is probably the next Absolute book I want to read, but from what I've been hearing, it's been kind of falling off lately, so I'm not entirely sure now. Now we have the final and 5th issue of DCKO. As someone who's only been into single issue comics for like probably a year and a half now, it was fun following this event. As someone who usually reads events like past tense, it's fun to be like officially a part of one, you know. Now we have a beautiful Peach Momoko cover for Daredevil and Punisher, and after that we have one of my most anticipated books for the week: Marvel Team Up, Spider-Man meets Invincible. I've known about this for a few years, so I'm happy they're finally reprinting it, because I'm pretty sure like first printings go for a crazy amount of money online. There's a lot of cool covers. Obviously, there's a Ryan Otley. Pretty sure Todd McFarlane has one, and Mark Bagley, the infamous artist from Ultimate Spider-Man. So I'm excited to read that. I kind of glazed past it, but here we have the new Danny Moonstar book. She's one of my favorite New Mutants, so hopefully that book is good. After that, we have a new book coming out of Image Comics called Narco, as you saw, with an Invincible variant, and it seems interesting, so maybe I'll check it out. No promises, though. After that, we have The Nice House by the Sea, another series I'm very interested in. I'm pretty sure Marvel has pulled the plug on all their cosmic books, which means Nova will be coming to an end soon, and I can't really blame them because I thought Imperial was boring as hell. Next, we have Poison Ivy, who also has the Gotham banner on top of her issue, and I'm pretty sure she's going to have a major role in the city throughout the next few months, so I'm excited to see what that will lead to. Once again, we get some smaller indie books along with a reprint of Cyborg vs. Swamp Thing from DCKO. Now we have some Ninja Turtle books, including Casey Jones. I'm pretty sure the artist for Casey Jones will be the artist for the new Barbara Gordon book, which I'm very excited for. So I need to check out some of his work before that starts, see if I can grasp a feel of it or not. Apparently this Maul book is like a prequel to the Darth Maul TV show coming out on Disney+. I haven't been a big Star Wars fan in years, but I'm sure some people are excited. A book I am interested in, though, is Speed Racer. I remember as a kid watching the movie and really liking it. I thought it was really cool. And I know this new book has been going on for a while, so maybe I'll check it out. Moving on to the final batch, we have The Walking Dead Deluxe. I don't know if they're collecting Deluxe in trades, but I do want to read The Walking Dead, and I would prefer to read it in color, so hopefully they do. Now we have everyone's favorite Canadian, Logan, the Wolverine. Obviously, next to him, we have the X-Men, written by Jed MacKay. Series I used to read, but I've fallen out of love with. Despite that, there's a very nice magic over here, which is like a plant. Isn't that cool? Next to that, we have the X-Men Annual, which probably would have excited me like a year ago, but now I don't really care. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys at home.
Hey guys, I'm back at my house now. Had a very weird, very eventful day, but I'm excited to be home and finally read these books I got. So before I wrap up the video, let's go over what I got once again. Starting off, let's go from least anticipated to most anticipated, I guess. So we got, boom, Absolute Superman, number 17. Juan Ferreira is still on the art for this book, and even if the writing's a little lackluster, I'm still excited to see some Juan Ferreira art, as I always am. Next up, boom, the DC All-In special. We got the Nick Dragotta Absolute Mainline variant. I'm excited to get this. I'm excited to read this after like years of holding it down. Moving on, we have the Marvel Team Up Spider-Man meets Invincible. Got the Ryan Ottley variant. Ryan Ottley is one of my favorite interior artists, and I'm excited to read this, despite how they may have changed it. Finally, our last two DC books, Batman 4/7, Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez. It says down here it's a stunning fold-out sequence. I don't know what that even means, but I'm excited to get into it. And finally, DCKO number 5, final volume of the series, and also the final Daniel Warren Johnson variant. I collected all of his variants for the series, so I'm excited, and I guess you should be too. But that's it for me today. I'm very happy to be home and be chilling, but I will see you guys next week. Stay safe, be kind, read more comics, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye 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 bye.